Welcome to the Chronic Health Collective. This isn't just a community, it's your fresh start. We've gathered the best coaches, experts to help you reclaim your energy, heal from the inside out, and live with purpose. Whether you're longing for more energy, deeper healing in your relationships, or a life that feels more aligned and fulfilling, you're not alone anymore. Whether you're longing for more energy, you're just not alone anymore. Let's rise up together. So welcome everyone. I'm Candace McKim. I'm an intuitive manifestation mentor. I'm the author of Yogini's Guide, Intuition is a Choice, as well as a deck of oracle cards, Yogini's Guide to Intuition. I'm a TEDx speaker and the founder of Manifestation Magic. And I am super excited to be interviewing Dawn Omalza this morning. Welcome, Dawn. Welcome.
Hey, Candace. Good morning. So happy to be here.
All right, well, let me introduce you properly. Dawn Omalza is an author, board-certified holistic health coach, and former HR professional who turned her own healing journey into a mission to help others realign their lives. Drawing from her background in corporate leadership and her deep passion for spirituality, Dawn guides women navigating major life transitions to discover clarity, resilience, and authentic alignment. She blends practical tools with intuitive wisdom, inspiring others to see every milestone, whether personal or professional, not as an endpoint, but as a gateway to transformation. So I'm super excited, and let's just dive right in, Dawn. Can you start off by sharing a little bit about your journey and what inspired you to become a corporate holistic health coach?
Yeah, so I had my former background was in human resources, and I had done it for over 30 years. And if you have any friends or anyone that has been in that industry, it's a very taxing type of career. You know, you're just constantly around people who are always complaining either about their employer, about a coworker, or just life in general. And a lot of times, even if HR is about, ensuring that there's compliance in the organization, you end up being a life coach to all of these employees. But it can really take a toll on you emotionally, just having that energy around you all the time. And you want to do what's right for the employees, but there's so much political red tape in the organizations that you try to do your best, and every day you ask yourself, like, was I fair today? Was I neutral enough? And you just never feel good at all about the work that you're doing. And so I had just I think my longest employer was with a healthcare organization for over 12 years. And I just tapped out. I was completely burned out, completely exhausted, and just didn't know what to do with myself. All I knew was that I needed to remove myself from that environment. And so prior to making that decision to finally leave that employer, I had started doing a lot of work, and it evolved into more spiritual work. And I discovered a lot of different things, and it just manifested from there. And it's just been enlightening. It's been eye-awakening. And I have to say, it's been 10 years now since I left that one particular employer. And the way that I react or not react to things anymore, just my emotional well-being, is just amazing.
Yeah, I'm sure so many of our listeners can relate to that. Even myself, my background is I have a degree in social work, and I got burnt out as well. And even when I wasn't burnt out, I didn't want to bring that energy home. I didn't want to bring that energy into my household, especially after I had children. I mean, like it was not okay when I was single or when I didn't have children. But once I had children, it was like, I can't bring that energy home and dump that onto them and their childhood.
Yeah. And I have two children. They're young adults now. They're in their, mid-20s, and I raised them by myself, and just the fact that now I'm able to share with them all the things that I've learned and see how they are navigating through life challenges. I just feel so happy that I was able to figure it out sooner than later,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
then it's gonna be less stressful for them moving forward. So
Well,
yeah, it's awesome. Awesome.
it's such a great example for them that, I can do this too. I don't have to live a whole life of misery.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what was the turning point that gave you the courage to walk away?
Um, you just have one of those days, and I really had a pivotal moment. I had a meeting with two of my staff one day, and I had to talk to them about something. And it's just your typical conflict that you have to deal with every now and then. And I just found myself just not being able to stop crying.
Yeah.
It's one of those days where I'm like, I don't even know why I was crying, and I just said to them, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to get out of here. This is not healthy at all. And I got through the meeting and I dismissed myself and I was like, this is it. Like, please, see, please give me a solution to get me out of this situation.
Yeah, no, I that's how burnout showed up for me as well. Is I was
Uh-huh.
crying all the time. And I'd be in the morning, I'd have a shower and I'd be crying, and I'd drive home from work and I'd be crying, and I that's how burnout showed up for me as well. So
Yeah.
if the listener is feeling that, like, I had kind of always thought burnout might be like so tired you can't get out of bed, or so
Hmm.
angry at the world, or I don't know. I
Hmm.
I guess I kind of thought burnout looked differently than that. But for me,
Right.
that's how it showed up for me too, is crying, crying, crying. And then when I left, I bet I went a decade without crying at one point, like a whole decade. And I'm like, wow, I might cry at commercials or something,
Right.
but, it's really
Right.
more sentimental.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's so interesting that that's how it showed up for you as well.
Hmm.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so, and it was just right then and there that you gave your notice.
I did. Life just is so mysterious because at that breaking point, I already had been looking for something else, but like everything just fell into place. So the new opportunity came along that gave me the exit out, and it was something entirely different. So it's like there was no time to regret my decision. Like everything moved so quickly. And
Okay.
because it was a totally different industry, I had to like be on my A game. And so the excitement was there. And I think that's the one thing that we forget about, right? Is the excitement that we feel. And I just didn't have time anymore to deal with my emotions, which later on did cause some other problems for me because I didn't resolve that.
Mm.
But at least I got out of that environment that I needed to and gave me the space to do the work that I needed to do.
Yeah, and it just sounds like you were just like in this flow of momentum, like you were
Yeah,
aligned, you were now aligned with what it is that you really truly wanted.
yeah,
And
and
by
yeah.
saying yes to ending it, the universe
Mhm.
said, here on a platter, basically, is what
Right.
you've been looking for.
Right. And it's a never-ending journey. I'm constantly learning a lot of things. I think my biggest challenge right now is that because the doors have opened, to what the possibilities are, that I overwhelm myself with too many resources. And so I have to learn how to
Mm.
ground myself and dial it back a little bit, because everything I want to do, everything in it is exciting. And it doesn't mean that I cannot do it. It's just like I just have to jot it down and prioritize it in a way that it's not overwhelming for myself. Because what it's doing sometimes for me, that creates exhaustion because having all these downloads and, just all these things that's coming through, that's mentally draining.
Yeah, and that's great that you're writing it down. That's I call that not co-creating, like brainstorming with the divine.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
how you have brainstorming sessions in your job and everybody's like shooting out ideas, and some are good and some
Hmm.
are meh and some are hell no, right? And that's what I think of when I'm co-creating like that with, I think of it as co-creating with source and
Hmm.
brainstorming with source, and I'm just getting all these ideas and I write
Right.
them down. It doesn't mean I'm going to do them all, but it's
Yeah.
like, oh, like there's all these opportunities.
Hmm. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing. And so you mentioned meditation in your healing practices.
Hmm.
So, what role has committing to these personal practices, these healing practices that have played a big role in your life, both personal life and your business life?
Yeah, I think, I know meditation has become very commercialized,
Mhm.
right? So we have that spiritual consumerism that creates hesitation, right? It's like, oh no, it's just another program, right? But at the end of the day, it's about finding that one practice that gets you started. And it's about creating that awareness for yourself and what it's doing for you, right? So I've learned many different meditation practices. And I think that's one thing I would recommend to our viewers is that there is no one size fits all program for you, but having that openness to try it until you find what resonates with you and have that in your catalog of different modalities so that you can tap into it when you need it. But meditation for me, can mean so many different things. And it really is just, it could be a 15-minute, checkout. It could just be a quick 1 minute or 5 minute walk around the block, right? We call it walking meditation.
Mhm.
But it's just being able to turn off that loud, crazy voice in your head that's making you not be able to function and question everything that you're doing and all of that, right? So
Mhm.
for me, that's what meditation really helped me do is just be able to stop, pause, and just quiet everything down. Because before I started doing all of this, I could never sleep. I mean, I was always a nocturnal person. I love it when the sun is not out. When the sun is out, I want to play. When it's nighttime, I want to work. And that's when I do my best writing and all of that good stuff, right? Which doesn't help it the rest of my family. But it's, I lost my train of thought on that one. But what was it?
Oh, about meditation. But I just want to
Yeah, help me dive back
as it
in.
comes back to you, meditation was pivotal for me as well. I've shared this story on on previous Chronic Health Collective podcast, but my parents were entrepreneurs and I was 12, 13 years old at that time. And my mom was prescribed Valium to help her cope with stress. And she's like, I can't take Valium. Like, what? I
Mm.
can't take this stuff. And so she took our entire family to learn to meditate. And I was 12 years old. And
Oh,
it
no.
started the process. And it has that, you have that connection to source energy and
Right.
the calming effects. And so meditation is my non-negotiable,
Mm-hmm.
And I always like to think of it as when I was meditating, going through school, then going through university, and then when my kids were little, it would be that time of day so if I was up late or up, like you said, you like to work during the night, I would meditate at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So when I was going to school, I'd come home after school and meditate. And it's that time of day where people tend to turn to sugar or chocolate to kind of give them the
Right.
energy for the evening. And
Yeah.
so that's when I started. I still meditate. I meditate first thing in the morning. It's my non-negotiable. But those days where you've got a lot going on during the day and then a lot going on in the evening, if I can find that time at 4 o'clock in the afternoon to meditate, it's that key point for me. And I think that
Mhm.
might have been where you were going with it, is that you were up all night and then
Yeah.
meditate to help you to get through the
Yeah,
day.
I never got any sleep because my mind was just always racing. But then I think again too, it was during that time of development, knowing that there was something bigger for me to explore in this world. But yeah, that afternoon meditation, even just for 5 minutes, helps refresh your brain, and then you can, it help you avoid that caffeine binge, right? That we're looking for the Starbucks in the afternoon or some kind of snack. And it does. I mean, and that's all you need sometimes, just to reset yourself if you're not able to actually take a quick power nap in the afternoons. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I program it into my phone and I put meditate, yum, because it's my yum time. Like, it's instead of having, a chocolate, or I might still have chocolate, so let's get real.
Yeah, yeah, of course,
And
of course.
often I usually do 20 minutes. I'm a solid 20-minute meditator. But then I set the alarm for 20 minutes and I'll take a cup of tea, take the dark chocolate or dates or whatever, read
Mm-hmm.
for a few minutes, and then go into meditation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, for me, I love to do the deeper dive meditation first thing in the morning to do
Mhm.
my grounding.
Yeah.
I just found myself so, and that was one of the discoveries too, right? Is the exhaustion that I felt as well is just because I didn't know how to ground myself and constantly being around people, right? That really depletes your energy. So doing the meditation for me before I leave the house was very helpful.
Yeah. 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 And I'm here in Hawaii, so even just listening to the waves, right,
Oh
can be
yeah, I love
so
to be
meditative. And I live in the
absolutely.
mountains in Canada, and just going for a walk in the woods, in the forest, it's just very meditative. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What other practices do you do? Like you were talking about your healing practices.
I love to dance.
Okay. Yes.
I love like salsa or doing exercise like Zumba,
Hmm.
because that kind of just peps me up, 'cause sometimes I do too much of the meditation that I'm just so zoned in or tuned in. But
Yeah.
I like that just to kind of, pick up my heart rate. So any kind of dancing with salsa or Zumba. I even used to do hip hop before when my kids were going to hip hop classes when they were
Yeah.
younger. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna join you, and we did it as a family. But yeah, dancing is my another go-to as a form of art and relaxation. And then I also like to do, reach out and connect with other healing guides. So I'm a lot into bioresonance tools and stuff like that. And I'll share with that more, especially like the Therify. Not so much Reiki. I found Reiki not my go-to, but there's other things that's similar to that I've worked with other people just to kind of check in and help with my energetic flow. Yeah.
Okay. So I love it because you've got the meditation to ground you and to go in, and then the
Mm-hmm.
dancing to go out, and
Yeah.
both align you, right,
Mm-hmm.
to what it is you're manifesting and what it
Yep.
is that you're bringing in into
Mm-hmm.
the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Alrighty, so it's time for our first break of the show.
Okay.
And I'm Candace McKim, and I'm talking to Dawn Aussie. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about celebrating milestones. And it's going to be a really, really fun, deep conversation. So we will be right back.
Thank you.
Are you ready to finally unlock your biggest dreams and live the life you've always wanted? I'm Candace McKim, and I invite you to join me in the manifestation magic process. Whether you're dreaming of that perfect business, financial freedom, or more joy in your life, it's all possible. With manifestation magic, you'll shatter common misconceptions that keep holding you back, learn the secrets of attracting your deepest desires, and activate the magic of sacred synchronicity. Head to CandaceMcKim.com and start creating the life of your dreams today.
A life empowered is closer than you think. We're all looking for a better way. Reimagine what's next with a new sense of exuberance. Why not power on like you mean it? Or power off blissfully? A better sleep is a better awake. You've never moved like this before. Energy nature intended. Imagine reprogramming the way you look at the speed of science. At longevity. At exhilaration. It's next level rejuvenation. Take control of your well-being from the inside out and outside in. The light within is ready to ignite. Be the light. LifeWave.
Welcome back, everybody. I am Candace McKim, Intuitive Manifestation Coach, and I am here with Dawn Omalza, and we are talking about, Dawn is a holistic health coach, and today we're talking about celebrating milestones. So, Dawn, tell us a little bit more about what you mean about celebrating milestones. So, I imagine that milestones aren't just about achievement, but they're about alignment. We were talking before we went to break about alignment. So can you explain what you mean about celebrating milestones?
Yeah, milestones, I think for most people's definition is about, those mile markers, that life event mile markers that we hit, right? Like birth of a child, hitting a certain age, it's like I'm turning 21 or getting a new job, or, all those types of things. And we go through life and we hit these milestones and we don't celebrate that, right? We don't take the time to like honor the work that we've done and what we've achieved. And it's like as soon as we achieve these milestones, we're just so ready for something, to do something more, and you do again, and you do again. And when we're constantly doing that and we're not, finding the gratitude in what we've achieved, that's when burnout can happen too, right? Because you're just constantly on the go. But I think also when we fail to celebrate the milestones, we somehow get so caught up in the successes that we forget the alignment part of what really makes us happy. And that's where identities get lost in the shift of that as well. And, I think we need to do more of that. And when we lose gratitude as well and we lose our identities, that's when we lose clarity, right? And then we start doubting ourselves. And even if we are continuing to achieve different things, life happens, and sometimes it doesn't always go the way that we want, right? There's that, that unexpected obstacle, and then it just throws us for a loop. But because we were so focused on this and that, we get so hard on ourselves that we forget about what we've already achieved. And so without that awareness, I think a lot of times that's where we go through what I call the valley of despair. And then we're not resilient enough to pick ourselves up and then keep going, right? Some people take a little more time to pull ourselves out of that, unexpected event, versus tapping back into what they've already achieved and be grateful for that, and knowing that it's just a quick hiccup, and then pick yourself up and move back, move forward again.
Do you think some of it is from minimizing our accomplishments? That, oh, everybody can do this, or everybody's done this, or it's not that big of a deal?
Yeah, I think we do. I mean, it's not, I wouldn't want to say that it's an overconfidence, because we have achieved it and we're pushing ourselves, right, to do more. But I think what happens is that we start to create this level of expectation for ourselves, and we're our biggest critic. And then that's where the self-sabotage comes in.
Yeah. Like I know when I launched my book, and I had a big launch party. I had two in two different cities. And then I went on a book tour. But I was at one of my launch parties in the city that I was working in, and I had this long line of people that they bought my book and they're waiting for me to sign the book, and this was like a dream come true. And everybody that came up to me and would say, "Oh my God, Candace, you must be so excited." And I was like, kind of sick of it. At that point, right? It had taken me a year and a half, 2 years to write it, and I was kind of sick of it, and I couldn't feel the excitement that they thought I should have. Does that make sense?
Right.
Like I had in the past, but at that event, I was like, I'm kind of sick of my book, and I just want to get moving on with other things now.
Right.
So is that kind of what you're talking about, or?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I have a very similar situation to that too, because I finally did a self-published book this past January, and I had been working on it for 4 years, and I'm still not happy with the product that I produce. But it was one of those moments, like, it was just like one day I resurfaced it again and started working on it, and I read it, and I'm like, what the hell is wrong with me? Like, this was perfectly fine as it was 4 years ago. Why did it take me 4 years to finally execute? But when I finally did, then I still was downing myself because I was like, still
So is that
self-doubting.
perfectionism, or is that like not feeling like afraid to be seen in the spotlight? Because it's scary to put out a book. Like, let's get real. You're putting your heart, your soul into a book.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
think it's a combination of both.
Yeah. Because I know it was really scary. Like those moments you hit send to your, wherever it's going. It's like, like people are going to know about me. Like read the things about my personal life. And
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the fear kicks in of being seen, and I think that was my biggest hiccup of why I put it off that long, is that I didn't want to be seen. And the thing is, I still struggle with that till today, right? I mean, I'm very open to sharing what I have to share with a lot of people because it is valuable. There's a lot of people seeking what I'm looking for, but I always self-doubt myself, and that's just everyday work that I have to get through. And and I have a high level expectation of myself too.
Well, and I'm pretty sure most of the listeners can relate to it, because I think as women, especially, we have been told to play small and to put everybody else in front of us for so many lifetimes, right? Like our entire life, but our mothers and our grandmothers and our great grandmothers, right? And so for us to actually show up and to speak up and to put ourselves out there, it really takes us out of our comfort zone. Like,
talk about childhood traumas, right? That just follows you and that you have to completely be aware of and quiet that voice all the time. But I had one family member, and I've just always been resourceful and outspoken. I just they're gonna call me the know-it-all, but I can't help it. I was always reading stuff, and I had that one family member that would always say, stop lying. Stop. How did she say it? Stop pretending to know it all. It's like, so it's like telling me to silence my voice, and that no, don't say that to a person. That's not the right thing. But I have to. I'm like, oh, when that voice appears, I'm like, no, quiet. I'm not doing anything wrong. So
I know. I was told that at one point as well. I was in the process of separating from my first husband, and my daughter was 3 months old. My son was 3 years old and my daughter was 3 months old. And my mom did say that, like, if you could just bite your tongue a little bit for the next few months, because you got this little tiny baby, and I'm like, okay, that lasted a month. There was no biting this tongue, right? But because that's what they've been told, and what that's been passed on.
I think too.
Sorry,
go ahead. No. I wanted to add to that about biting your tongue, right, and staying silent. I think a lot of people have been told, be humble, right? No matter what you do, you're achieving great success, but be humble about it. And what that does to us as an individual is it tells us that is dimming our confidence when you tell the person to be humble.
I know my person that helps me with marketing, she's always, Candace, celebrate your clients' wins. Tell the world about, the accomplishments, what they're manifesting, what you're manifesting, like start putting it out there more. And I am very shy about that. Like, I think it comes from having a degree in social work, and you don't ever talk about your clients, right? Right. And so I feel like it comes from that learning, that training. Right. But she's saying, no, celebrate, like tell people, put yourself out there and show all the wins that all of your clients are having and you're manifesting, because then it inspires other people to hire me, right? And she's my marketer, and I'm like, oh, I gotta hold back. I still do. Like I do. I don't tell people, actually. I don't put it out there. Alrighty. So how can listeners start to start celebrating the small, aligned milestones in their own lives?
Um, dedication and making a commitment that you're going to do that, right? And just starting small, whether it's a daily win or a weekly win. But I'm not a big advocate for schedules, but this one I think we have to do.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, whether it's a Thursday, Friday, whatever, pick a day and just reflect and go, oh yeah, I did all of these things, and just celebrate it and do like commit to doing something to celebrate it, whether it's just, doing a spa hour, a pedicure, or taking time out to go to the beach, or buying yourself something, or getting yourself some kind of treat. Just do it, right? Because we don't reward ourselves, and we're just workaholics. And then again, we're just going on to the next project and the next one. And then there goes the burnout.
Yeah, and it shifts our energy when we celebrate our wins. Like that's why us as coaches, we start off our coaching calls, share some of the wins you've had in the last week. Or if I do group coaching, okay, everybody share a win that you've had. Like that's wise, because it shifts our energy, and it tells the universe that, yeah, we are winning, and we are celebrating, and we are excited about it.
And we have to honor ourselves, right? We don't we don't recognize and honor ourselves. We're so quick to do it for others, but we don't do it for ourselves.
Yeah. And one of the practices I started doing is, I write out gratitude, but what I've switched it to doing, I do the gratitude still, like write out 5 to 8 gratitude. I write out 5 to 8 successes that I've done. And it shifts things. Like this is a practice I've done for a long time, but it is a practice that really it shifts that energy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I use the 4-quadrant time matrix just to prioritize the things that I need to do every week. And as I get it done, I just like cross it off. And then when I go back and reflect on it, I was like, oh, I actually did achieve something this week.
Yeah. So what is that? Like I use a journal as well, and I check it off, and you get a dopamine hit every time you do a check mark or
But
what is it that you're talking about? So the 4.
Have you it's the Eisenhower time matrix quadrant, where important and urgent, and I think they also cover that time matrix quadrant in the 7 Daily Habits, 7 Daily Habits of Successful People. But for me, I'm a visual person, because I got carried away with buying so many different planners that, it's like I do it good for 2 months and then I never fill anything in for the rest of the year. So for me, just a 1-sheet timesheet quadrant of what I need to do, because I need to prioritize it, right? So it helps me prioritize my task. And then it gives me that just quick visual of either checking it off or, just drawing a line through it, or even just keeping it for a whole month and seeing how things shifted from one quadrant to the next, right? So for me, that's the most effective process for myself.
Okay, and so what are the 4 quadrants?
It's it's important and urgent, and then it's either important, urgent, or it's important, not urgent, or not urgent and not important.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I have my top 3 priorities and then other things.
Yeah.
So my thing is, like on the days that I don't want to work or do stuff, is just do 3 things towards your business. Like just
right. Because we tend to, and I found this practice really good when I was doing HR work and helping leaders help their employees organize their time. And they could come up with a list of like 50 things that they needed to do, but what they struggled with was prioritizing their tasks, right? Because they're going to have this list of 20, 50 things to do, and then it never gets done because they don't know which one to focus on first. So that helps them, give them the visual and help prioritize those tasks. And that's why I like it, because I need help with that all the time.
Oh, I love that. Yes. I can see that. You think, I got so much on my list, and then it's like, well, what really has to do? What do you really have to do? Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Can you share a personal milestone that didn't look like success from the outside, but you felt it was deeply aligned for you?
I would say just how I interact with people, even in a work setting. So I'm not doing full HR work right now, but I am still working in a different capacity, just part time. And with all the things that I've learned, my biggest milestone, I know it's not like tangible, but just the way that I interact with people, that's a big milestone for me because I used to just like I was just so passionate about fairness in the workplace that whenever I see some kind of injustice that was happening, I would get really riled up and I'm like ready to battle for that person.
Yeah. Good.
But for me now it's like, I'm really just an observer of what's going on. I don't react, but I observe it enough and then I'm able to have a nice, gentle, transparent conversation with whoever I'm witnessing this with and share them with some feedback so that they can learn how to have that emotional shift or know when to pivot without getting, caught up in the chaos of what's happening to them. And I've been experiencing a lot of that lately. But it's like good to just be able to sit there while everyone else is angry and, hyped up and just to be there and just observe and just watch it happen and not get involved.
I love that. I love that. Okay, it's time for our next break of the show. I'm talking with Dawn Omalza or Dawn Ozzy.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about celebrating milestones. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about unexpected milestones and how do we cope with those when they appear in our lives. We will be right back. I'm Candace McKim. We'll be right back.
Why do 98% of beauty enthusiasts rave about coolness? It's all in the blend of ancient wisdom and modern science. Introducing Coolness, Pearlescent Face and Eye Serum Cream. This powerhouse combines the antioxidative power of schisandra berries, the glow of pearl powder, and the hydrating wonders of dragon's blood extract. It's like a time machine for your skin, making it radiant, firm, and oh so smooth. Inspired by ancient Chinese traditions and backed by modern nutritional science, this serum cream is perfect for dry, mature, and aging skin. It's time to unlock your inner glow with Coolness. Treat your skin to the best of both worlds today.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. I am Candace McKim. I'm an intuitive manifestation coach, author and TEDx speaker, and the founder of Manifestation Magic. I am here speaking with Dawn Omalza, or Dawn Ozzy, as she has in her bio. And Dawn is a leadership holistic coach, certified holistic health coach, and former HR professional who turned her journey into her own healing journey into a mission to help others realign with their lives. So before we went to break, we were talking about celebrating milestones and what might look like success from the outside, but feels deeply aligned for you. And now we want to go into talking about unexpected milestones that come up. So just go ahead and start telling us a little bit, what do we do when life throws us curveballs like illness, job loss, or betrayals? And how do you see these as milestones rather than setbacks?
Yeah. So I'll share with the audience. I shared this before, but I'll kind of go deeper dive into it. A year ago, the last full-time HR job that I had, the company got acquired by another hospital. And so while I was preparing for this buyout, 2 months before the last day of employment for these employees, I had found out that I had a GIST tumor. So on I think it was the same week of the last day of these employees, I also had to plan for surgery. So,
Wow.
so talk about to be unemployed and then having these health conditions that I was not prepared for. So that's like a major milestone, right?
Yeah.
And so that's a lot coming at you, at 20 miles an hour and all at the same time. So it's like, what do I do, right? It's like I do need to find ways for additional income, but I also need to just focus on my health. And so that was a very trying time. And then also putting aside what my own experiences was to make sure that I was doing whatever I needed to for these employees that were all about to lose their jobs, right?
Wow.
So it was just a crazy, crazy time.
Yeah.
But that, in itself, that's a major unexpected milestone. And it's that's the pivotal point. It's like, what do I do and what am I going to do next, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I put my health first, right? I took care of whatever I needed to do for my health and just get that part done with, because for me, my mindset was, it's just a little hiccup in the road. It's not something that's going to get dragged out, and it's not going to, define what the rest of my life is going to be like. I'm just going to do this surgery, heal as quickly as I can, and move on. And, I even also tried my best not to give it a name, right? It's just a daily, just a process that I have to go through and move forward. And luckily for me, while I was healing, I was able to actually find, another employer so that I could, continue to pay for my bills. But when I went there, I worked there 4 days.
Oh, wow.
And it's one of those moments where you're like, I know I need this, but I need to take care of my mental state. That's more important. And I was just not mentally, I was just not ready to go back, because it wasn't even intentional. It was more out of making decisions out of survival. So yes, I had this opportunity to help myself, but it really wasn't who I am and what I was becoming. So I took the risk of not continuing down that path.
Yeah. Wow. And so what advice do you give to someone else who might currently be in the middle of one of, these unexpected milestones or turning points?
Yeah. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And I think for me, I didn't tell a lot of people. Like, I didn't tell my mom and my kids that I was doing the surgery or what was even happening with me until the week before the surgery.
Wow.
So even if I had been going through this for a couple months, right, with all the testing, I didn't tell them until the week before, because it's like, they're going to be like, oh, where's mom and why is she at the hospital for a week?
But my gosh. I can't even imagine going through it by yourself like that.
Yeah, well, I think I just didn't want to have the anxiety of having to answer questions that I myself didn't have answers to, the questions that was going to be asked of me, right? And so I just wanted to focus on myself, and then I dealt with the others afterward. But for others who may not be, have done the spiritual work or the personal development that I have, like, don't be afraid to help, because there's many people that go through the same experiences that I have, and they're more than happy to lend a helping hand, or even just, be there to talk through, right?
Yeah. So that would be something you would do differently.
Yeah, because about a few weeks ago, a really good childhood friend of mine now is going through a very similar situation. And we kind of just came together to be as a support for her. And I was like, oh, if I had done this, maybe, I'm going to cry. but maybe it wouldn't have been as challenging for me, right? Sorry.
No, don't apologize. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. And like, I'm so close to my mom. I'm so close to my sister. I can't imagine going through anything like that by myself. And and really brave of you. But yeah, like, it's a gift. Like, and now you're able to help your friend, your childhood friend. And it's a gift. Like, when we tell people and bring them in, it's actually a gift for them to support us.
Yeah.
Like, they want to support us, and it's a gift for them to be able to do that for us.
Correct. Yeah, I think a lot of times we just don't want to share because we don't want to be a burden to other people. But yeah, people do want to help others. And it's the same for me. I'm so emotional. Oh, good Lord. Okay, yeah, but yeah. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And then also too, with just the whole medical industry and what's out there, right? A lot of people now are seeking holistic alternatives, which is perfectly fine. We need a combination of both. We need integrated medicine, but I would just be cautious because there's also so many resources out there that you're going to want to try to do everything, but really trust your intuition of whether or not that's the right fit for you. Before you just start spending a lot of money, right? Trying to find something or some type of modality that's going to help you heal. I think the best medicine for ourselves really is this, our brain.
Yeah, I agree. I believe that 100% as well. 95%. I believe 95% of our businesses, success or failure, is due to mindset.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you're talking the same thing. Yeah. So let's go into this last topic of intentional milestones. Like, I find this fascinating. Like, we have these other things that just happen in our lives that are huge milestones that change the course of our lives forever. And then you're talking about setting intentional milestones. So what does it mean to create an intentional milestone? And how is that different, really, from setting goals?
I know I'm going to struggle with this one, but I really wanted to talk about this. We have these goals, right? We think there's these goals we want to achieve this, okay, I'm going to just stick with jobs, right? It's like someone has this goal that, okay, I'm at this level, I want to increase my income, and the only way that in their head, they think the only way for me to increase my income is to work really hard and set a goal to get the next promotion, right? Because that's the way organizations are built. It's this crazy hierarchy that makes no sense at all. And I hope that whole pyramid organization gets killed over time, because it just creates this crazy sense of how I need to achieve. So they're going to have this goal that they want to get the next promotion so that they can increase their income. So they have that goal. But intentional milestone is that you don't need to follow that structure. You can create that same success in different ways, right? It doesn't have to be through that job. You can do it through other means. Write a book, share your knowledge. It doesn't mean, you're going to become a coach or, teach whatever, but there's so many other different ways to increase your income, not just, based on that structure that we've always been accustomed to. So that's what I mean. It's like intentional. You create your own successes and these milestones by what you want. And, like manifestation, right? Everyone's a big advocate. They want to learn about it, how to get that quick wins, but you still need that action, right? To make it 100%. Happen. You can't just write, all these affirmations and meditate and it's going to happen. You still need to take the action. And sometimes action isn't so much working harder, but just becoming more resourceful to know what your options are. And the action is taking action on the things that excite you, right? Not a forced type of I guess, protocol, whatever you want to call it. And then that's how that's the intention, right? It's not just goal setting. You're doing it. And it doesn't have to mean this big old program that you're going to create for yourself, but it's just daily actions to get you to where you want.
And they usually take you out of your comfort zone. Like
Yeah.
doing the goal setting and doing the work towards a goal is,
Yeah.
it's kind of comfortable work, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like what you're saying is that when you have a milestone, it's like, it's soul work, and it takes you out of your comfort zone. It really makes you bigger and more seen, really.
Yeah, yeah. And I love to encourage people to try something different, whether it's a week or once a month. And it could just be simple things like, trying a new exercise program, going to a different store that you buy your groceries, or trying a different restaurant, or trying a different food, or learning something, reading a new book, or whatever it is, right? Because you never know what you're going to discover in that action of taking yourself out of the box. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's going to inspire you. It's going to inspire you. Yeah.
Yeah. Getting
Okay,
uncomfortable.
Dawn, I want you to share with everybody how they can connect with you, and how do you work with people?
Yes. So my website is going to be available. It's newdawnholistichealth.com, or they can also newdawnholistichealth.com.
Okay.
And then also I'm on Instagram, or you can email me at info@newdawnholistic.com. Yeah. Either way, either of those three.
Nice. And how do you work with people? Do you work one-on-one, or do you have a group coaching program?
I've been doing one-on-one, but I'm changing my method, and I'm doing more community-based, which I'm really excited about. And so I'll have a new promotion coming out for September 1st. And that's really about taking seekers and healing guides and creating a directory of those healing guides to help them find that right match, right? Because there's so many different folks out there that can help, and then there's these seekers that get overwhelmed because there's so many people and so many resources, but helping them understand what the different modalities are, and then helping them find what is the right match for them just as they're starting to get, start on their spiritual journey. So yeah, I'm really excited about that one. I've been conjuring this up, and I'm like, okay, it's time to launch, Dawn.
Yeah, I really love that, because you're bringing in your HR background, or your corporate background, and then bringing it into the spiritual world. And like, I can see how effective that's going to be for everybody. That's amazing.
Yeah. Because I love more that in the sharing versus having my programs and doing individual coaching. It's like I just love to write stuff. So, I'm happier when I'm just writing. Sometimes being around too many people, in person or whatever, it's too taxing for me. So I had to find another way to still do what I wanted to do, but in a way that's not gonna, burn me out.
Exactly. All right. So do you have any last words of wisdom that you would like to share with the audience?
No, I think just continue to be curious, and honor that nudge that you feel inside you, that yes, there is so much more that we can explore of ourselves, and don't be afraid to do it. Like, don't be afraid that you're shifting and you're trying something new. Don't care about what other people think. You have to honor yourself and what makes you happy, and just stop letting that societal influences stop you from being who you are, right? And get out there, try new things, and just be happy. Life is too short. It really is. We don't know if tomorrow's gonna come, and so just honor yourself every single day.
Yeah, one of the things I've read is that children laugh. I can't remember the numbers, but so much more in a day than adults. And so just even bringing more laughter into our lives just can really like raise our vibration. And
absolutely.
Feel
Yeah.
good. Well, this was really, really fun. Amazing chatting with you, Dawn.
Thank
And
you.
I love what you're doing. And I love that. I really want everybody to reach out to Dawn and to connect with her and book a call with her and find out how you can get involved in her new program of bringing together coaches and clients and all of that. All right. So if today's episode spoke to you, don't go it alone. Book your free consultation with one of our experts. You can contact Dawn or myself or any of the other coaches at chronichealthcollective.com for personalized support. Subscribe to our monthly magazine for expert tips from all 14 coaches to elevate your health, mindset, and relationships. You can catch us every Tuesday at 7 p.m. CST or watch past episodes anytime on E360 TV or youtube.com/@chronichealthcollective. Thank you so much for tuning in. Your transformation starts now. See you next week. And remember, intuition is a choice. So follow your intuition and your intuitive goals.
Aloha.